I think I'm going to start out this video with a place that I attended of higher learning, what they call higher learning. Established 1856. Wanted to go through a few, of course, weird looking old pictures of this university. I'm also going to get into a place in Gadsden, Alabama. I recently found out a little bit about the place, not much, just a couple of older pictures, and it was some kind of a furnace. Not sure of the years still, but doesn't really matter. But going back to our education system, I think the biggest problem that we deal with is nothing is really taught with hands-on learning. When that happens, it's not till the end of, say, high school or whatever they call higher learning of college. It's just repeated stories and theories of subjects. But when it comes to life and learning to be self-sufficient, that's on the back burner of education. True education should be hands-on from day one. That would just make sense. I was good at math, art, and anything really hands-on. Thinking back, just many years wasted on things that wouldn't provide real satisfaction to what we all could create. Family, friends, people that you meet in conversation is a tremendous value in life. The distractions from those things is what makes all of us a little lesser than what we could be. This subject of metallurgy that I talk about with a lot of others now shouldn't be depressing, but uplifting towards everyone using their own mind, more against what we are told with no proof. So create your own reality away from the madness. Groove is in the heart. Your heart is your groove. It's your home. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate everybody being here. Gonna go through some pics and strange pics, of course. Thank you and welcome. Here's a picture from Auburn University, and just the strangeness of it all and what's going on in this lawn here. I mean, nothing really makes sense. Everybody's kind of ghosted out. This guy over here is just looking up at the stars or whatever, and just makes you think, well, what's been added here? Are all these people and figures added? Do they add some of these trees? I have no idea, but it definitely doesn't look right out in the middle of nowhere in the 1800s with thousands and thousands of pallets of bricks. Why? Why is there a dirt road leading up to this huge brick building? And these are everywhere there. Or maybe these buildings were already there. Like this, just waiting to be taken over and founded. And the vegetation and everything around it just doesn't make sense. This tree here looks a little older, but then you have twigs everywhere, and there's just not much here except for this huge, extravagant building. I actually had a class in here. This is my first one. The Higher Learning Road to Indoctrination. You may enter here. Very grainy picture with grainy scaffolding and a whiteout. I mean, we're just going to go in the middle of nowhere on a cow farm and build these structures for higher education. Yeah, sounds accurate. Okay. I mean, even with this interpretation here, there's nothing around it. Look at this dome here. Thing's huge. All these buildings are huge. Took some business classes over here in one of these buildings. You might laugh at me at this one, but what I found strange in this picture, which it could be a camera, look how little this guy's feet are. I mean, is that what's going on here? His arms seem like they're even prosthetics. They're just hanging there. Just weird. Guess this is from the early 1900s, obviously. This column here, too. What's going on with this thing? It's a little different from the column to the right. You can see it's a curved column over here, but what's really going on over here, you can take away the ivy and stuff and just disregard all that, but this is supposed to be fairly new. Why does it look like that? So right before I get into the Gadsden stuff in Alabama, I'm trying to figure out what this guy's doing and how he's not falling over right here. It's like a video from the Michael Jackson series or something. How's he doing that? They're building these institutions of supposed higher learning. You've got to build basements, and you have to have half windows and lots below ground level. And make sure you have doors for possibly, I don't know, 15 or so feet people. But we're not that tall, so I don't know what's going on here. I wanted to quickly mention ways to support the channel if you'd like. I recently did put out a 2025 calendar. It's a collage of my melted pics, basically, that I enjoy, and I was really shocked at how good of quality the calendar was. So, thank you, everybody. I'm going to start out with a couple of older pictures that I found, and there's only two older pictures and some kind of a furnace. I'm not sure the name of it. I'm also not sure what section this would be. Some of this stuff looks a little familiar, but not really. And I was noticing whatever this is, it's right in the middle of the rail tracks here. So it's a little off, it seems. I am recovering this place too in Gadsden, Alabama, just because of I want to really explain how all this stuff and people could, and I think did work somewhere here. Of course, it's not there anymore, except the remnants that I'll be showing, but you could build on it. People can work there. It's just like in Capitol buildings or old churches, cathedrals, mosques. Me personally, I think it was already there and it wasn't built when they say. So the foundation of all this was already there. Here's a clip from about 4 years ago. It's my first video of this place, first video ever. And just kind of wanted to give you a walkthrough and a scope and where it's at. I'll probably be repeating myself a lot in this video towards this place, but you have to bear with me. Walking down, and here we go. So it's a little hour or so northeast of Birmingham, Gadsden, Alabama. All you do is look for the golf course. It's right over there, covering probably most of the structure that used to be there. Onward down. So you're seeing these blocks and changing and all this concrete looking stuff. And look at those arches or arcs. What caused that? Because everything else is level with the brick lines and everything. Why does this specific area for a couple hundred yards go from brick, block, concrete, stone, rock, everything? How is this changing? You'll see specific lines not going horizontal, but kind of arcing down through this building, like maybe some kind of a electrical heat event was going through the building. Because you really can't explain it with just sitting there or anything else. This wasn't Civil War times or anything. And you got bricks all in it, leaning back, melting. You've got 3 different stages right there, it seems to me. This was all here, and then the cataclysm happened whenever that was. And now it looks like this, and you have that hole that's not even, it's too big. It's like it's squished down, and you have what looks like to me cooked out brick right there, and a conglomerate right there, solidified together, huge blocks, stamped bricks everywhere, sand, rocks, river rocks, cobblestone, the transitioning right here. Yeah, sure, somebody could have put the bricks on top of that, but when you're building this initially, why would you do that? They don't even look quarried, so-called quarried. They're just big, huge boulders, blocks with bricks all intermingled in it. And that line going downwards right there with the bricks. Why would that deteriorate like that? Or it could have been an electrical charge. The transitioning right there. I can see it. You see all the brick impressions to the left and it changing the rock a little bit up there. You go downwards. What's going on actually? If you look at it closely, it has nothing to do with the narrative. And the proof is right there as far as being brick internals. So what really happened? Why does it look like this? It's all different. All re-solidified together, it seems like. And this is the foundation that was already there, at least this part. Of course, the golf course behind it. But we all seem to know that golf courses are just a cover-up, it seems. No digging zones. But just the different variations of what all the brick did. We're all taught to just go by words on a page, and yeah, sure, some stuff could have been built on top of it. Your great grandfather worked there, but it's the foundation, or what was actually built. What can they prove? And most of the time, you can't prove any of it. There's the golf course. I think they call those the water ponds when this was officially open, but you're looking in here, and if you look closely at one spot, almost looks like a cave, but look at the bricks here. They're all different, changing into different kinds of material that we would think that's just concrete, but it's brick. And how does this change to rock? This is 100% rock. And it was 100% brick. So what's going on, right? The state of matter have obviously changed here. And you have this brick going to rock by just sitting there, or whatever narrative they tell you as far as ironworks or a furnace. But what causes that in all these different spots? And what causes that arcing through the building up and down here? And do you put concrete together like this? Is that really under it? Or did it change through some kind of a cataclysm? Brick all in it. There's no more proof that you really need to say, hey, look, this changed. Something happened. not by just a factory sitting there producing iron or brick or anything else, just crumbling apart on the end there. And what was this? What was it used for? Where are the blueprints? None of that's available. The only thing that's available is just a few paragraphs. And my grandfather worked there. Well, Coca Cola had a lot of old world brick places that people worked at. But can you prove that the building was built? And can you prove how any of this ended up like this? It's not a dump site, it's a melt site. That's what it looks like. Transitioning right there in front of your eyes, which you can't explain on any level of any narrative. And I want to pound that. Why not? The education system is total trash, basically. And if you just look closely at everything, no matter if it's furnaces or the mountains or anything else, something's not right. Look at what's going on here. You've got the brick and the rock and blocks and all mingled together. Did they built it like that 120 years ago or so? And they built it like this also? Well, where did it come from? And you have tons of bricks, so why are you doing this stuff? It just gradually goes in the ground and you have blackened, cooked out mess of brick and mortar. Positioning so many different stamp bricks from different companies, the same companies, of course, they're just really hard to look up. They're all pretty much dead ends. They're from the later 1800s. But why would you have so many different stamp bricks in one spot? Which I've seen that everywhere I go, usually where I find stamp bricks, there's just 10, 20 at least different kinds, and that just really doesn't make any sense. What else doesn't make sense is this is all brick and it's turned to this concrete looking stuff. This whole block of bricks shouldn't look like this from any kind of narrative. They say ironworks, it doesn't matter, coke oven, but it shouldn't change to this. Basically, they didn't make bricks here. I do know that for a fact, at least what they say. So what I'm saying basically is there was a major cataclysm, and the foundation of this place at least was here already, and it wasn't built in the late 1800s or say even early 1900s, and I don't know the years on this, but you just got to really look closely at the stuff and say, hey, how can it change like this? What were they doing there? You can't just say it was a furnace. It's obvious right here what's going on. This whole thing was brick internals, because you see the 100% brick that's leaning back, I would say melting back in pieces everywhere, and it's changed the state of matter. You have a conglomerate of everything all re-solidified together. This is brick here, and it's just all this mess. Why are you having these pieces of brick in the middle of these boulders? Why is this brick changed to this? This is another spot where there's 100% it was brick and it changed to rock. How did this stuff become like this? Why do you have these huge blocks and then I would say this is leftover brick? It's turned to rock, in my opinion. All this was a brick structure, mortar, and it physically changed like this. The internals, you can see right here were brick. No one put these in here. They're actually solidified to this structure, and it's tall up there. But I did reach and touch one of these. Can't remember which one it was, but they're all connected. This is major for me too, as far as being able to see what the brick is doing and changing to rock and stone. And you have this 90-degree angle that goes all the way down here. Okay, you can even see up here how the brick lines continue through what looks like concrete. But you drift on down, it's flat, flat, and then you start to get some bulging out here. Drift on down, it's bulging out. This looks like it's starting to rock here and here, bulging out down here. So this is supposed to go 90 degrees all the way down, and it got really messed up through here and expanding out. This spot here also, this was supposed to be 90 degrees, and it's messed up. From whatever happened and it got cooked out, it just changed to this. Like you have your brick, you have your stone blocks, but it just changed from brick structure. You can see it over here, and there's all kind of bricks in this, what looks like concrete, but it's not. It's an outer covering, brick and mortar. You can still see the red in here. So why would you build a big brick factory of any kind, but do this also? This is just a mess, and they're huge blocks. But if you look closely, you can still see the impressions of the brick in this block. Even have the redness left, but you see all the lines. This looks just like the mountains also, but it was 100% brick at one time before it changed the state of matter. This is just crazy. Again, your sedimentary melted brick lines, compressed, changed to rock. Total destruction. And of course, they could have torn all this down, and they don't have anything on it. But why do you have all these mortarless bricks also? Of course, cooked out in half and half, and rock and brick and stone. More examples of what you're not going to do that in between these huge blocks. And you're not going to build this huge brick building and then have these in there also. It makes zero sense. Full of what they call river rock, cobblestone, and there's no water system going through here, and it's just a specific area. Speaking of cobblestone, river rock, now why in particular is this one here still solidified or merged with this mortar? There's supposed to be a brick here, and this whole entire thing was brick. You can see the swirling effect here, but what's that doing there attached? Just have to ask these questions. I mean, this is strange stuff, regardless of what anybody thinks, really. This piece was weird. It was just still merged with whatever this concrete looking stuff was. And also this brick, it went further down, but it's mortarless and attached and sunk into this somehow. Getting here, just a layer of this cooked out material, whatever it was on the outside there. And you can still see the brick lines through here if you look really closely. Like I said, I already showed stuff with brick all in this. Looking a little bricky right there. I mean, just this one spot is pure evidence of this most likely was all brick internals because of all the pieces of brick in it. all the way down. I have this spot where you can see barely left over the bricks. Right there. Right here. Multiple bricks. All in this leaning back. This corner got cooked and fried somehow. Look at this separation. In conclusion, it's been a fantastic year, and I'll see you next year. Peace within.